Fans of a Horus heresy and making a dramatic entrance into battle. Thank you very much for joining me for an out-of-the-pack review of what is one of the iconic Forge World models. And I can already hear you're wondering what it is. Well, it comes in one of these whopping sized Forge World boxes, and this is the redesigned Thunderhawk Gunship model by Forge World. Very, very cool kit, to put it mildly. This thing is awesome. This is a kit that I'm doing a commission build on for a client. So what I'm going to do is, in our usual approach, I'm going to unbox this for you, and I'm going to show you some of the parts and just take a bit of a tour around the kit and see what it looks like. Brackets, what I've let myself in for. Only joking, this is going to be a great thing to build. Without further ado, let's open this box up. Right, so we've got some nice bubble wrap. I always love Forge World kits for a supply of bubble wrap. And well, let's start at the start. So we have a packing and checking sheet. So this was packed and checked by DF on the 9th of October 2017. So about a year old, this kit. Does that make this one of the early examples? I suppose it would do, wouldn't it? The kit hadn't been out that long at all. Right, let's see what else we get. We have a substantially sized construction manual. And as always, if you like the fluff, have a pause and have a read. Wow, look at all those bits. Gosh. Having a quick look through this, I mean, this is your new style Forge World instructions. Building this is going to be quite a different experience to the Mark I Thunderhawk, which was interesting to say the least. That looks really good. This redesign was done by Darren Harwood at Forge World, the Warlord man, as I call him. So, well, let's take a look at his handiwork. Right, so we've got a lot of bags of components and then a few larger parts. What we'll do is we'll move the box out of the way and then we'll start getting the larger parts out. Right, so first one is this chunky thing. There's been sealed in some bubble wrap. And this is the upper hull of the, I nearly called it of the Forge World, no, of the Thunderhawk. Looks pretty good. You can see there's been a little bit of mold breakage around there and there, but those are where the breaks have occurred and we've got extra material. Those are on the inside of the finished kit, so that shouldn't cause us any problems. Got a bit of a slip to sort out there and there. Got internal detail, of course. Looks very nice. Yeah, not too bad overall. Not, you know, for a big chunky piece like that. Right, we've got now a lot of bags of parts. Look at all these. Before we start getting into those, this is one of the things that makes this new kit so cool compared to the original. The original had a resin cast canopy, but it was in opaque grey resin like that upper section. The new one comes with this part cast in a transparent resin. You've got the cockpit frame in there as well, but obviously the intention is to paint around that. Yeah, that's nice. And the clients asked me to attach some small magnets in appropriate places so you can take this on and off. Right, there's another bag of parts. So I'm going to leave the bags for now. We're going to do the big bits first. Right, here we have a set of Sons of Horus Land Raider doors, and that gives you a hint as to the allegiance of the client. So I'll be putting that onto the access ports that go either side of the forward fuselage on the Thunderhawk. Right, let's get some big bits out. Okay, what have we got here? I think we have a wing. Or we have more than a wing. We have a wing and a landing gear bay as well. Let's see what this looks like. Lovely. Yeah. Such chunky bits of resin. Got a misalignment on the mold there that's going to need probably filing down and cleaning up. But overall, that's good. That's nicely turned out. I mean, the wings on the old Thunderhawk that I'm sort of working on slowly for my mate had a lot more work to do on than that. Here we have a second wing. No, the Leakycheese lies. This is the lower forward fuselage. Oh, no. Wait, let me think. Ah, this must be the rear fuselage. Maybe. Does this go forward? Maybe that goes like that. I think it does, and then we're going to build the nose around that. Maybe. I'm going to get that all wrong, so I've not read the instructions properly. So that means, what's this then? Ah, okay. So this is the lower forward fuselage. Right, okay, so what I just said then was nonsense. That must be the rear fuselage there, of a lower rear. So those thrusters I think are going to go to the back, but oh, could that be the upper fuselage? No, so we've got that. It must be the lower. Right, now let's see how well it's formed around these door seams. Sometimes they're not really good, but that actually looks really neat. There's a big shim to take out there. Bit of a slip to fill up there. And some mess from moulding to cut away here. But overall, that's all looking very good. The inside of the landing gear bay is well formed. There's a tiny piece of broken mould in there, but that hasn't affected this particular part, so yeah, lovely. Right, let's see who we got now. So there's another section of fuselage. Now that's a chunky monkey. This is the upper rear fuselage, so this is where the tail fin assembly will attach, and these are the bays for the air brakes. What does this look like? A little bit of clean up here. Following the details around here, there's a slight bit of seam to take away there. A bit of remains from a mold brake, not lake brake, to take off there. Quite a significant mold slip here. And you can see how that's messed with the detail. That's quite poorly aligned, that piece has been when it's been cast. Yeah, that's interesting. That's going to take some reconstruction. I think there's probably, I'll have to see if I can, I suppose I could rebuild the rivet with a bit of green stuff, but yeah, it's a bit not the best. And you've got another mould slip here. The reason that's there is because when they've manually cut the mould, they've not got the cut on the edge quite as I needed to. Then again, with a big model like this, you do have a bit more room for error with casting like that. So that brings us to the final big piece, which is this hefty fellow. And this should be wing number 2. There you go, finally got the part right. So I've got the inside landing gear bay again. Running round. A little bit clean up there. Bits to do as you work round. Overall though, that looks good. Bit of scratchiness to sort out there. That's not bad at all there. Quite a lot of release agent evident there. And as you've probably guessed, the first thing this will be doing is having a bath. Right, so those are the big bits. How much camera room have we got left? I don't think we've got space to get everything out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little shuffle and then we'll have a look at some of the parts in the bags. Okay, that's not too bad. Right, let's look at the one that I think everyone's probably most interested to see. So there's a nose. Bit of a slip there. Just needs cleaning away or filling. Some air bubbling on the inside there, although it's that should be easy enough to fix. Just a bit of general cleanup to do around that, but that's not bad. Looking at the shape, that's going to need some bending to make it fit. Right, what else we got here? Okay, how about this, the upper flight deck, or the flight deck should I say. Yeah, look at that. That's lovely. That's a lovely looking piece. Very good. Yeah, awesome. Here's something that got quite significantly redesigned in this kit, are the winglets. So you can actually make your Thunderhawk look all X-Wing if you wish by positioning these. That looks nicely cast. There's two of those in the bag, one for each side. I think that's a bulkhead for the nose section. And another quite iconic part is the nose ramp. There you go. That's what the Emperor's enemies see shortly before they get flattened. So there are a few highlights from that bag. Let's take a look in here. Yeah, got an engine unit there. I think that's the centerline engine that goes on the underside rear. Very nice. Looks great. They used very similar styling. Darren Parwood stayed faithful to a lot of the original styling on this Thunderhawk kit while giving it a slightly modern spin. Now, we can't have a review without guns and ammo, and here is the upper weapon station, and this is a mount for either the battle cannon or the turbo laser. That's really cool. This is one quite significant change, as well as the sort of geometry around the cockpit, the upper fuselage, which was made a bit sleeker. The size of this weapon position was toned down compared to the original. Fortunately, the weapon is still a nice, big, meaty gun. And I think that is a turbo laser. That's not a battle cannon. What's in here? Oh, this is interesting. So, whoa, look at that. There's a tail fin. Yeah, what's this like? Yeah, it looks nice, that. Very good. And this, now where does that go? Not sure. Looks like it, I don't know, it looks like a set of air intakes. I bet partway down the fuselage this sits, and that in effect is the air intake for the two wing root mounted engines and the rear centerline engine. So I think that's what this is. Yeah, I like that, that's nice. Oh gosh, we're nearly out of space in the camera area. Loads of parts here. Let's have a look at a few. Got the engines, 3 of these. That's a pretty straight up reproduction of the original style of the Thunderhawk engine. The air intakes for the wing roots. Again, this seems very similar to the style of the original. One thing that does seem quite different are these little thrusters for positioning around the kit, which the original had thrusters, but they were built into the surface detail of the fuselage, whereas here I think they've gone for these little directional thrusters. Oops. So I think those are going to look really good. 2 little Space Marine crew, both wearing Mark 7 plate, Aviator edition. Bit of a slip going on there. That'll be alright though. Right, that's everything out of that bag. A quick look in this bag as well. So this looks like we've got some of the secondary weapon systems. These are, I think these are the Death Strike missiles. Those are massive. If you had one of those coming your way, you are going to have a bad day, without a doubt. And a couple of heavy bolters. Lovely. And these are going to look great when it's finished with those barrels bored out as well. Perfect opportunity for a bit of barrel boring. So there's a lot of other little detail components in there. We'll have a look in the final bag, which is this one. I'll just see if I can pick out a couple of interesting highlight parts for you. I don't know what that is. Looks a bit like some sort of assault launcher. Don't know. I think that is a heavy bolter mount. And this is another part I recognise from the original Thunderhawk. This is the mounting point for the underwing mounted heavy bolter stations. Cool. And a couple of arms for one of the pilots. I do like that. It's got a skull device, skull badge with skull and cog device. So lots of Mechanicum influence. So there you have it. a brief overview of all the parts in what is an enormous kit. Sorry I can't get everything out for you as I normally do. I just, even with the camera jacked way up high, I still haven't got enough filming area to get everything in. So sorry I can't show you everything. But that said, I hope you've enjoyed a tour around this kit. It's just from unpacking it now, this is an awesome looking model. It looks absolutely amazing. Overall, I mean, there's a few little bits of, there's some bits of tidy up required and filling on the big fuselage pieces. But when I was looking through the smaller parts in the bag, everything looks very nicely cast and lined up. So I think that's an overall thumbs up on the kit quality. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this tour. Thanks to the client for agreeing to let me do some videos. As always, I'd love to hear your own observations in the comments section, and particularly if you perhaps got any experiences to share about building your own Thunderhawk, or other people you know who have a Thunderhawk, old or new. As always, I'll be very interested to hear. But other than that, I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. I'll speak to you next time, and goodbye.